like Jay-Z said something in the record Ham. He was saying, you ain't got baby money, you spending baby money. Is there an issue?
Not with me, but I don't know how he feeling, but we just doing what we do, I ain't tripping. We spending baby money, that's how.
That was Birdman firing back at Jay-Z's diss way back in 2011. But what started as a few lyrical shots and some courtroom drama has now exploded into something nobody saw coming. The new footage that just dropped online has fans losing their minds, and it's not just gossip. This video digs straight into the heart of a 2-decade feud that's been simmering beneath the surface of hip-hop. This isn't some random clip out of nowhere. It came straight from the cracks of a rivalry built on 20 years of tension, 3 lawsuits, a handful of brutal diss tracks, and the rise and fall of some of the biggest names in rap history. To really understand how Jay-Z and Birdman allegedly ended up in a physical altercation during what witnesses say was a private industry event turned chaos, you've got to go back to where it all began, the Empire War. It all kicked off in 2006 when Lil Wayne's Cash Money contract was about to run out. Jay-Z, who was the president of Def Jam Records at the time, saw an opportunity he couldn't ignore. He went all in on trying to sign Wayne to Rockefeller. Back then, Wayne wasn't just another rapper, he was the future of Southern hip-hop, and Jay-Z knew it. The Brooklyn mogul didn't just send a few calls or let his team handle it, he showed up himself. Jay-Z brought Wayne straight into the Rockefeller offices for a face-to-face talk about teaming up, building something massive, and dominating the rap game together. Birdman, though, saw things completely differently. To him, Jay-Z's move wasn't just business, it was personal. He didn't see it as normal label competition or a friendly offer, he saw it as straight-up poaching, a bold attempt to tear apart the family he had built from the ground up at Cash Money Records with his brother Slim back in 1991. So when Birdman found out about Jay-Z's talks with Wayne, he didn't waste a second. He fired off a legal letter accusing Jay-Z of tortious interference, basically claiming that Jay-Z was trying to mess with his business and disrupt the empire he'd worked so hard to build. That legal threat didn't just stop the conversation, it set the tone for a long, cold war between 2 of hip-hop's biggest power players. In the end, Wayne had to make a choice, loyalty or opportunity. And he chose Birdman. Out of respect for the man he publicly called his father figure, Wayne decided to stay with Cash Money, the label that had raised him since his teenage years when he was already being called a prodigy.
Jay-Z said something in the record Ham. He was saying, you ain't got baby money, you spending baby money. Is there an issue?
Not with me, but I don't know how he feeling, but we just doing what we do, I ain't tripping. We spending baby money, that's how.
That choice kept the Cash Money empire strong, but deep down it planted the first seeds of tension and resentment that would grow for years. That tension didn't just fade, it exploded into a full-blown industry feud that would shake hip-hop to its core. By 2009, the rivalry was out in the open, and things got real when MTV crowned Jay-Z as the hottest MC in the game. Birdman didn't just disagree, he was offended. To him, that title wasn't just wrong, it was straight up disrespectful. So when he sat down for an interview with Tropical TV that same year, Birdman didn't hold back. He said, "I don't think Jay-Z is the #1 MC in no kind of way. Wayne's the best. He do the most and he make the most money." That bold statement did 2 things at once. It took a jab at Jay-Z's crown and shifted the conversation completely. Birdman made it clear that in his world, greatness wasn't just about lyrics, it was about money. He believed Cash Money Records had the upper hand where it mattered most, the bank. But Jay-Z doesn't take shots lightly. 2 years later, in 2011, he and Kanye West dropped HAM from their joint album Watch the Throne. Buried in the aggressive bars with a sly but sharp attack aimed straight at Birdman's wallet. Jay rapped, "Really, you got baby money? Keep it real with fellas. Fellas ain't got my lady money." That line hit like a grenade, suggesting that even Beyoncé's fortune alone outshined Birdman's entire empire. The money war had officially begun. That lyric from Jay-Z hit Birdman hard. It wasn't just a diss, it was a public slap that made the Cash Money boss look small next to one superstar. But Birdman didn't lose his cool. When asked about the jab during an interview, he kept his composure and responded with calm, confident energy, refusing to let the media see him rattled. But it wasn't Birdman who turned up the heat, it was Lil Wayne who took things to another level. On his 2011 album, The Carter 4, Wayne fired back with a verse that shocked everyone. He said, "Talking about baby money, I got your baby money. Kidnap your woman, get that how much you love your lady money." That line was wild, straight up referencing Beyoncé and twisting the baby money insult into a personal threat. This wasn't your average rap beef anymore. That line turned a lyrical rivalry into something way darker, almost like a personal vendetta. The disrespect was so sharp that even hardcore hip-hop fans were stunned, and it seemed like Wayne knew he might have crossed the line too, because later when he was asked in an interview about that Jay-Z lyric, he showed rare restraint and avoided stoking the fire further.
To a session with him the other night.
Did you ask him about the Jay-Z line?
I wouldn't ask him about a Jay-Z line because he's not Jay-Z.
Is that something you would react to as an MC?
Actually, the subject that he's talking about in that line, I can't box with the guard with that, you know?
Jay-Z didn't rush to clap back. Instead, he went completely silent. For 2 long years, the whole industry waited, wondering if he thought Wayne's threat wasn't even worth acknowledging, or if he was just playing the long game, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Then in 2013, on La Familia from his album Magna Carta Grail, Jay finally responded, and he did it with cold precision. He dropped the line, "Fellow wanna kidnap wifey, good luck with that, bruh." That wasn't anger, that was straight disrespect. Jay-Z didn't even sound pressed. He brushed off the threat like it was nothing. The calm tone cut deeper than any diss could. It was the sound of a man saying, "You're not even on my level." The feud could have stayed in the world of music and interviews, trading bars, flexing in the press, but things took a serious turn when Lil Wayne's relationship with Birdman completely collapsed. By December 2014, Wayne shocked fans by announcing he felt like a prisoner at Cash Money Records, the same empire he helped build from the ground up. His long-awaited album, The Carter 5, was stuck in limbo, reportedly held back by endless drama over money and creative control. Fed up, Wayne finally took action. In January 2015, he hit Birdman and Cash Money Records with a $50 million lawsuit. The court papers didn't just demand money, they exposed allegations of deep financial betrayal and years of exploitation that painted Birdman as a boss who'd been playing dirty behind the scenes. Wayne dropped a bomb in his lawsuit, claiming that Birdman had straight up mishandled a massive $100 million advance from Universal. That money was meant to fund Young Money, Wayne's own label that had launched not just his music, but also the careers of 2 of the biggest stars of the decade, Drake and Nicki Minaj. According to the court papers, Birdman allegedly took a massive $70 million chunk for himself, leaving only scraps for Young Money's artists to work with. The accusations painted an ugly picture. Wayne's crew, including some of the biggest names in the game, were left scrambling, while Birdman, the man they trusted, walked away with most of the bag. Fans were stunned, the industry was watching, and Jay-Z saw the perfect moment to step in. In July 2015, Jay-Z made a bold move. He dropped Wayne's Free Wheezy album exclusively on Tidal. That play wasn't just business, it was a triple hit. It gave Wayne a way to release music outside of Cash Money's grip, boosted Tidal's credibility by landing a huge exclusive, and sent a clear message straight to Birdman. Jay was helping the man Birdman had trapped. But Birdman wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back hard with a $50 million lawsuit against Jay-Z and Tidal, accusing them of copyright infringement. Birdman's legal team claimed Wayne was still under contract, meaning he had no right to license his music anywhere else. The case was eventually tossed out in 2016, but by then the damage was done. The lines were drawn in blood, and the rivalry between Birdman and Jay-Z had become unshakable. By this point, Jay-Z had styled himself as Wayne's savior, the one who gave him freedom when everyone else turned their backs. But from Birdman's perspective, Jay wasn't some hero. He was a shark circling the chaos, taking advantage of Wayne's contract drama to score a business win. Each side had its own version of the story, and the tension was getting deeper than anyone expected.
So, like I said, it broke me, and I'm just trying to put me back together.
Then came a twist that took things out of the studio and into the streets. In 2015, Wayne's tour bus was shot at, and the attack was allegedly tied to people connected with Birdman's camp, though Birdman himself denied having anything to do with it. The rumors spread fast, and the streets were buzzing. This wasn't just music beef anymore. It was starting to look dangerous. Around the same time, whispers surfaced that Jay-Z had quietly helped Wayne pay off $14 million in back taxes. Nobody knew for sure if it was an act of genuine respect between 2 icons or a smart business move to tighten their alliance. But either way, it showed how far Jay was willing to go. At that moment, the Wayne, Birdman, Jay-Z triangle had become one of hip-hop's wildest power games. Wayne even had lyrics from Jay-Z's Lucky Me tattooed on his skin, proof of how deep his admiration ran, even while chaos exploded between the camps. Wayne had always been caught in the middle of two powerful forces. He grew up idolizing Jay-Z, the Brooklyn legend who inspired his lyrical grind, while being raised in the game by Birdman, the man who saw that same Jay-Z as a threat to everything he'd built. That clash of mentors created a storm inside Wayne himself. Every move he made reflected both their influences, turning the feud between them into something deeply personal. Then came the money trail, and that's where things got real ugly. Court documents and industry insiders revealed that Birdman had allegedly pocketed around $70 million out of a $100 million Universal advance, cash that was meant to support Young Money's artists and operations. This wasn't just rumor, it was the backbone of Wayne's entire lawsuit. Meanwhile, Drake and Nicki Minaj, the label's megastars, whose success sometimes even rivaled Wayne's, were left scrambling to split what was left of the money, just $30 million. The math said it all. The boss took the lion's share, while the ones actually making the hits were left fighting over scraps. It's no wonder Wayne described himself as a prisoner. He was generating millions, yet watching that wealth get siphoned away from him and his artists, trapped in a system that turned loyalty into leverage. Jay-Z's role in all this wasn't just about title, it went way deeper. Word spread that Jay had actually stepped in and helped pay off Lil Wayne's $14 million in back taxes, while Wayne was still locked in his ugly legal war with Birdman. That move had everyone talking. Was it friendship, business, or strategy? Depending on who you ask, Jay-Z's gesture meant completely different things. Some saw it as a real act of brotherhood between two legends, one artist helping another break free from a bad deal. Others said it was all strategy, a way for Jay-Z to weaken Wayne's ties to Cash Money and position Roc Nation as the safer, smarter home for artists tired of label exploitation. But no matter what the truth was, one thing was certain: Jay-Z had inserted himself deep into Wayne's finances, and to Birdman, that felt like war. That payment didn't just settle debts, it reignited a fire that had been burning quietly for years. After 2 decades of legal threats, diss tracks, contract snatching, multi-million-dollar lawsuits, and even whispers of real-world violence, the Jay-Z and Birdman feud had reached a boiling point. It wasn't over, it wasn't healed, it was just waiting to explode again. The Super Bowl Cold War. The long-brewing feud between Jay-Z and Birdman might have stayed buried forever until one announcement reignited everything. On September 8, 2024, the NFL and Roc Nation dropped a bombshell. Kendrick Lamar would headline the Super Bowl LX9 halftime show set for February 2025 in none other than New Orleans, Louisiana, Lil Wayne's hometown. That news hit the industry like a shockwave. New Orleans isn't just where Wayne's from, it's the city that made him, the place that built his sound and crowned him a legend. For him, that stage wasn't just another gig, it was his turf. And yet the honor went to Kendrick, a West Coast giant, while Wayne was left off the list. To really grasp the weight of that decision, you've got to understand the power dynamic behind it. Since 2019, Roc Nation has held an exclusive partnership with the NFL, serving as its live music and entertainment strategist. Basically, Jay decides who performs at the biggest stage in American entertainment. Producer Jesse Collins even confirmed that Jay personally picks each year's halftime act. So when Jay chose Kendrick over Wayne for a Super Bowl in Wayne's own city, fans and insiders saw it more than just a business move. It looked personal. The reaction from Wayne's camp? Instant and explosive. Birdman didn't stay quiet. He jumped straight online and made his feelings loud and clear. On X, formerly Twitter, he dropped a cryptic but fiery post that left no room for confusion. These fellas soft. Nicki Minaj, I, Drake, A, Lil Tochi, UMCMB. I'll make these fellas respect us. That wasn't just a tweet, it was a war cry. Birdman was calling on the entire Young Money Cash Money billionaires crew, signaling that the old alliance was back and ready for battle. Nicki Minaj quickly joined the storm, adding fuel to the fire. She accused Jay-Z of pure pettiness, directly linking Kendrick's Super Bowl slot to Jay's long-running grudge against Young Money. According to her, this wasn't coincidence, it was history repeating itself. Nicki reminded everyone of the lawsuits, the contract beefs, and the bad blood that had always kept Roc Nation and UMCMB on opposite sides of the industry. And then came the wildest twist, the connection to the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar feud. Throughout 2024, Drake and Kendrick had been locked in one of the most brutal lyrical wars in recent memory, trading back-to-back diss tracks that took over the internet and the charts. Kendrick's Not Like Us became a viral anthem, and in the eyes of many critics, sealed the victory, leaving Drake bruised and the hip-hop world divided. So when Jay-Z picked Kendrick, Drake's nemesis, for Wayne's hometown Super Bowl, it didn't just sting, it looked like a calculated move that reopened every wound in the game. And that's where the story takes its final twist. The Super Bowl Cold War wasn't just about music anymore, it was about power, legacy, and control. Every move Jay-Z made seemed to carry a message. Every reaction from Birdman and Wayne added more fuel to the fire. What started decades ago as a label dispute had grown into a multi-generational showdown where loyalty, money, and pride collided on the biggest stage in the world. By the time February 2025 arrived, the entire industry was watching. Would Wayne make a surprise appearance? Would Birdman crash the party? Or would Jay-Z's strategic chess moves cement his dominance once and for all? One thing was certain, this wasn't just a halftime show, it was the latest chapter in one of hip-hop's most legendary rivalries. From secret lawsuits to subliminal disses, from courtroom battles to Super Bowl stages, Jay-Z, Birdman, and Lil Wayne's tangled history proves that in hip-hop, power plays never really end, they just change the beat. The Empire War might cool off for now, but trust, it's only ever one move away from reigniting. If you've been riding with us through this wild story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this video with your crew. You don't want to miss what's coming next, because this saga, it's far from over.